Rotarians and guests, welcome to the Rotary Club of York. And you know what? Today is a great day to be a Rotarian. It's especially a great day to be a Rotarian when you have the awesome privilege of being the president of one of the finest Rotary clubs in the world, and that would be me, your president, Aaron Jacobs. But it's not about me today. It's about you. It's about our community. It's about service above self, and it is about our four-way test. Would you please join me? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Speaking both personally and from the heart, I want to say this year has really been about goodwill and friendships for me personally, as I've gotten to know so many of you so much better through our little conversations. And I just want to say that this is what goodwill and friendship has been all about for me. But you know what else builds goodwill and better friendships? Songs, invitations, and guests. And with that, I have some outstanding true Rotarians, such as Mike Osherman, who will lead us in My Country 'Tis of Thee and the Pledge, followed by past President Glenn Miller, to dazzle and humble us in prayer. And lastly, Sean Kenny, who will have the honor in announcing our guest. Mike.
Join me in singing, if you will, My Country 'Tis of Thee. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Join me in pledging the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Mr. President, thanks for the pressure. Will you join me in prayer? From the 9th chapter of Proverbs, instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more. God of all wisdom, source of all knowledge and truth, we give you thanks and praise this day for the capacity you have endowed each of us with for learning, and with learning for growth in true knowledge and wisdom. We are grateful for the learners, grateful for the teachers, and for those institutions in this community and throughout the world that are dedicated to both, especially this day for York College of Pennsylvania and its new president, Thomas Burns. Bless him as he speaks with us today, and bless him in the work of leadership that has been entrusted to him. Grant him a discerning and compassionate heart, bold vision, and strength and courage. We give thanks also this day for those administrative professionals who work tirelessly to support the work of colleges and universities and every organization and business in our community and beyond. Finally, be with us this day in our gathering. Bless the food we have received, the hands that have prepared it, and keep us ever mindful of the needs of others. To you, the one God of many names, we pray. Amen.
What a group we have today. I'm pleased to have the honor of introducing our guests for today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until President Aaron has welcomed you. First up, past District Governor Patty Rooney, representing the Rotary Club of Raleigh, North Carolina. Give it up for Patty. And when you get to say hello to Patty, you'll notice he's developed a little bit of a Southern accent. So it's right. It's good to yeah, there you go. We also have visiting Rotarians David Corman, past president of the Uptown Club, Lee Peters, past president of Ashland, Ohio. Welcome. Other guests today, Philip Given, guest of Martin Fedorko. You can thank Philip for the pretzels in the back. You're still hungry. Nice soft clap there. Todd Hess, guest of Mike Osherman. The following are guests of past president, the dazzling Glenn Miller. Ilya Yakovlev, Mary Dahlheimer, Dominic Delacarpini, Christine Hine, Troy Miller, Brian Hazlitt, Tamara Snead, Ken Martin, Paul Sakia, Matt Smith, Patrice DeQuinzio, and Cindy Reisinger. You got a lot of friends, Glenn. Noel Jones, guest of Mike Black. Alan Lehman, guest of past President Di Hershey. Carly Legwood, guest of past President Di Hershey. Mark Sussman, guest of Thomas Caltagirone. Oh, almost so close. Next time, Tom C. Julie Parthry, guest of past President Rob Bowen, and Emily Tompkins, guest of Kim Bracey. Turn it over to Aaron. Thank you.
You know your year is not going well and your president's out of control when they have to ship the past president and past district governor all the way up from North Carolina to check in on you. How am I doing, Patty? Ah, I knew it. I shouldn't have asked. I'm done with that. Hey, Noel, guess what? We're looking for member number 297. And that could or should be you. And that leaves us a gap of 3 to reach 300 again. And my gosh, look at all these York College of Pennsylvania people. I only need 3 of you to get there. And we were just saying, your president said there's not enough York College representation in this club, right? Right? Anyway, for those of you who are joining us for the first time today, I can say to you with confidence that you will have one of the finest experiences of food, fellowship, and program in York County. And those of you who are visiting for the second time, you should be nodding your head because it's that comment were not true, you would not have come back. And for those of you who this is your third time or more, I don't know what's holding you back, but talk to somebody at your table about becoming a member. And if that doesn't work, come talk to me. Having said that, Rotarians, let us welcome our guest today. I got a lot of announcements to get through here. So getting on to, wow, look at that guy. We can finally share some photos from the project at Continental Square. And I wanted to say thank you again for those who supported this club, whether you were a sponsor in the Love for Community event, you put a plant in the ground, or you just came out to cheer on the volunteers. Every little bit counted, and it made for a great outcome. Thank you again. But wait, there's more. Next Friday, May 3rd at 8 p.m., we will have the official ribbon cutting ceremony at Continental Square to commemorate the project. The good news, and this is happening at the same time as the First Friday and Give Local York event, so you have plenty of reasons to be downtown that evening. So I'd like to see as many Rotarians as possible, as well as anyone from the community who is excited about our work, to join us next Friday at 8 p.m. If you're wondering why we're having it so late in the evening, it's because that's when we will be lighting these trees for the very first time, and you get to be a part of that. So I look forward to seeing you all there. On to committee work. The IDEA committee will meet on April 29th at 8 a.m. via Zoom. The membership committee will meet on April 29th at 4 p.m. via Zoom and or at the Fox 43 offices. The communications committee will meet on April 30th at 3:30 at the Fairway table at Regents Glen. And the fundraising projects committee will meet May 1st at 11 a.m. here at the Country Club of York. Big news in the world of immunization. World Immunization Week is April 24th through April the 30th. In case you didn't know, Rotary and partners have reduced polio cases in the entire world by 99%. 5.9% since 1988. Let's applaud that. It will truly be a great day to be a Rotarian when we reach 100%. And hopefully it won't be too long, because we will not stop until we end the disease for good. Because of Rotary and this immunization, over 20 million children have been prevented from becoming paralyzed by polio. That's why, as we mark World Immunization Week, as a Rotarian, I am pleased to recognize this progress as proof that vaccines work and that Rotary matters. So, kind of doing a Rotary rewind from the past weekend. This past Saturday, we had Rotarians planting trees in York City. And thank you to the 20 or so volunteers who came out to help plant around 25 trees throughout York City. For those of you who are new to the club, our Preserve Planet Earth Committee and its dedicated volunteers plant around 50 new trees in York City every year during the spring and fall. So chances are, if you drive around the city and you see a new street tree, it was likely planted by our club. Let's have a round of applause for our PPE committee and volunteers. I also want to acknowledge all the Rotarians who represented our York Rotary Club this weekend at the District 7390 Annual Conference. I understand it was a great opportunity for learning, networking, and finding new ways to get involved with our district and fellow clubs to make sure that we are having the best impact possible. A thank you to all who were able to attend that conference this weekend, such as Ben, Fran, Courtney, and Walt. Let's give them an applause as well. Last but not least on my list of announcements, it's Pretzel Day again. Thank you to Philip and Megan, who are making good on the promise they made to our club in their presentation a couple months ago. And I think I speak for the entire club when I say that fresh local pretzels certainly passes the four-way test, because it is certainly more than fair to all concerned. Your smile and laugh tells me that it is building goodwill and better friendships, and it is no doubt beneficial to all concerned, and that is the truth. Thank you, Phil and Megan. I'll remind you again at the end of the program, but he does not want to give these pretzels a free ride back home. So at the end of the program, if there are any left, be sure to help yourself. And now I'd like to invite President-elect Courtney to our podium to talk about communications. Courtney.
All right. Thank you to everybody who has taken one of the yard signs that we've been giving out the last several weeks. We've distributed 75 of these so far. So if you took one and it is still in the trunk of your car, this message is to you. Please get it out of your car and put it somewhere visible. So this was the brand awareness event that we were doing with the communications committee. Again, 75 have been given out. We have more downstairs today that you can grab on your way out. If you did not yet post on social media that you put this sign in your yard, we would encourage you to do so as well. Here's just a great sample. We have a model we brought in specifically for this picture. Now this is me. I just posted, took a selfie quick, just posted, typed up a little blurb. And what we would ask is that you tag the Rotary Club of York. And what that means is when you're typing a little blurb with the picture that you post, you just take the @ symbol on your keyboard and then write York Rotary Club, and it pops up. And that way, people that are seeing your post are able to click on our club's Facebook. They're able to get more information about the club. And when I posted this, immediately I got 2 responses from people that wanted to come check us out, hoping to get Aaron to that 300 number. So if you haven't done so yet, we would encourage you to do so. If you need any help with it, feel free to reach out. Thank you, everybody.
And 63 likes to add nonetheless. Not bad, Courtney. I have to say that the yard sign campaign has been one of the most innovative and impactful campaigns we've done, because we have to stay visible in the community. So as Courtney said, let's keep putting those signs in our community. Even guests can take a sign and put them out there. Correct, Courtney? Absolutely. And now I'd like to invite Darren Smith and Megan Given to the podium for a Give Local York announcement. Megan and Darren? Or just Megan? I don't know. Oh, D. D. They both begin with D.
Hi, everyone. We're just going to talk about Give Local York for a minute. As you all know, our Rotary Club is a part of Give Local York. So please, when you're making all of your gifts to the wonderful organizations here in York County, think of the Rotary Club. We are the only Rotary that is out there, so it'll be easy to search for us. We are holding the funds from this Give Local York to make a huge impact on a youth project to be determined in the city of York. So please give. And Megan's going to tell us about Give Local York.
Thank you.
How many of you have donated to an organization during a Give Local York over the past 6 years? Almost everybody. That's great. And we have some newcomers. So I'm going to fill you in on like what this whole thing is about. But one more question. How many of you are associated with a nonprofit organization that is participating in Give Local York next week? Oh, actually, all of you should raise your hand because Rotary is participating. So absolutely. This year we have about 320 organizations that are participating in Give Local York. Give Local York is our annual Big Give Day. We're heading into year 7, if you can believe it. This year, we're sticking with the new hours that we introduced last year. So what that means is Thursday, May 2nd at 9 p.m., the Give Day will go live and it will run for 24 hours. We will celebrate at 9 p.m. on Friday, May 3rd with our big celebration. But I'll give you all a sneak peek, not even a sneak peek because this is out there, but some people pretend like they don't know. The giving window actually stays open until midnight on Friday. And that's really because we have a lot of lovely business partners, restaurants who are open late when they want to make sure that they can get their donations in. So the giving window technically stays open until midnight, but we're celebrating at 9 p.m. because we're going to hit our big goal, of course, which this year is to see more than 13,000 donors make a gift on Give Day, which might sound like a lot, but technically that's really only 3% of York County. So I think we can do it. I think we can do that and more. Last year, we raised $4.64 million from 12,752 donors. So this year we're going bigger, we're going better, and it takes all of you. So it's very easy to give. You go to givelocalyork.org once the Give Day is live. You can choose from one or all of the 320 organizations that you would like to support. Again, the Rotary Club is participating, so make sure to check them out. Also, the Downtown Sustainable Landscapes Fund, Aaron was showing the photos from the tree planting and the ceremony, the ribbon cutting ceremony that's going to happen that night. You can also contribute to that fund for ongoing maintenance of that project. So any cause you can think about, they're supporting in Give Day. It's a big fun party. We'll be down for First Friday downtown. Markets at Hanover are celebrating. There's a party for the river in Wrightsville. Stewartstown is having a block party. You can always tune into Fox 43. Is Chris here in the room? To check out the fun that's going on. And we also host a live stream pretty much all day on May 3rd, and that is hosted by Philip Given, Pretzel Man Extraordinaire and Give Day host, that Give Day guy. So check it out. Next year, when I come up and give this speech and I ask who has given to an organization during Give Day, I'd love to see every single hand raised. So givelocalyork.org. Goes live May 2nd at 9 p.m. and we're shooting for 13,000 donors this year. Thank you.
Megan, I'm surprised you didn't mention that she also paid this ask forward by bringing a pile of pretzels to bribe you with. So if you grab the pretzels, you are now obligated to participate on Give Local. And now I'd like to invite Brian Grimm to the podium to give a literacy committee presentation. Brian.
Oh, come on, give me more. All right. All these hand of applause. When you go last, you don't get the big one. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, President Aaron. Hello, beautiful people. I have the privilege of being the literacy committee chair here at our wonderful club, where our charter is to increase understanding and importance of literacy by supporting programs that address literacy, primarily to benefit the children of the city of York. We are a growing committee with 13 members, up 6 from June, 1 since the last time I spoke with you guys. If you're on the committee, could you raise your hand real quick and give us a wave so everyone knows who you are? I see a couple of hands. All right, wonderful. If you'd like to join, come see one of us. So what do we actually do is your question. Thanks for asking. Our club has put more than 1,000 books in the hands of our most vulnerable children, ages birth to age 5. Heard that? Woo. We know birth to age 5 is the most important time for children to be read to or to have access to reading materials. As we know, 90% of their brain is fully developed by the age of 5. Typically, we focus our efforts on learning centers and schools across York City. Some past recipients include York Day Early Learning, the YMCA, Downtown Branch, Logos, the School District of City of York, Davison, Ferguson. All their pre-K classes have received books from our committee. CA Early Learning Center, York Academy, a bunch of others. This year, we decided instead of giving a couple different centers smaller checks, we wanted to give one center a large check, both figuratively and literally. So with that, I'd like to announce the committee selected the Early Learning Center of the YWCA of York, and Ms. Kim Bracey is here to come up to receive this check. We were able to raise $2,100 that will go directly to the library at the Early Learning Center in downtown York. So we're really pleased to that. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you to Ken Cooper and Mike Hahn for shaking you guys down at the table 1 day, 2 days, I think it was. But we really appreciate it. And this really makes a difference in these early learning centers. And thank you to Kim and her team for all they do. So thanks, everyone.
Kim, congratulations on being awarded the gift. Keep up the good work in our community. You are making a difference, and we're glad that we can help. And now it's time, we haven't done this for a while, the President's Challenge, where we can bring a committee to the podium to talk about informing you what they do, promote what they do, solicit new members, and recruit new Rotarians to help out in the cause. And it's my pleasure to invite the chairperson of the Youth Exchange Committee, Walt Tilley. Walt.
Thank you, President Aaron. Did you know that the Youth Exchange program is not a program of the Youth Exchange Committee? It's a program of Rotary International. Our club participates in that Rotary International program every year. And it is a participation at the club level because what we are doing is taking a student from their home country, placing them in a new country to learn a new language, a new culture, and experience life as a native, not as a tourist. And that kind of responsibility is required by both federal law and our contracts with Rotary International to be a club responsibility. Into that situation steps the Youth Exchange Committee. The Youth Exchange Committee is a committee of volunteers that implements the program accepted by the club and the Rotary International. If you will go to the next slide, this is what we do. We provide an experience of a lifetime for them. It is oftentimes the best year of their life. Next slide. These are the exchange students at the Rotary District Conference this past Saturday. And in that picture, what you need to know is 3 of them have mental health conditions. 4 of them have physical health conditions. 4 of them have dietary restrictions due to health conditions or religious beliefs. Only 1 of them is fluent in the language of the country where they'll expend their exchange year. None have experience speaking before groups, much less a group of business and community leaders. All of them will go to a country where they have no friends and no family, and all of them will be completely dependent on the Youth Exchange Committee of the club that is hosting them. Into that world comes our Youth Exchange Committee. Aaron Rank, Albert Blakey, Alex Kaczewski, Andy Mears, Ashley Edsweiler, Jackie Summers, Jerry Watson, John Yates, and Scott Krauser. Now, you need to know that it's not easy to join our ranks. Let's go to the next slide and the slide after that. All of us have to pass a state background check and child abuse clearance like many of you have. We also need a federal clearance. In addition to that, we take a test. We have to study the local coordinator training put out by the U.S. Department of State. Next slide. And then we have to study the Code of Federal Regulations pertaining to youth exchange programs. After that, next slide, we need to take a test and we have to pass with a 90% pass rate. Next slide. And only then are we able to work as a member of the Youth Exchange Committee. We have a monthly meeting by Zoom. So the work isn't done once we take this test. And by the way, that test is not a once and done thing. It's annual. Every year we have to do that. So at the monthly meeting on Zoom, it's the third Thursday of each month that lasts about 45 minutes. Nearly every member of our committee then has work to do to support these students, usually taking several hours of additional time each month. So you can see that this is truly a service above self committee. This committee is serving this club and the students. Why? Because we see the students overcome their physical and mental health challenges, because we see them live with and love their host families, because we see them struggle and then adapt to our schools, because we see them try and fail and try again to make new friends, because we see them learn our history and our culture, because we see them grow more independent and more mature. And we know that we as committee members and you as a club make this possible. You don't join our committee to check a box. You join our committee because you have a heart for these students, because you are committed to serving the club, because you are committed to service above self. If this presentation and the knowledge of the impact we have calls you to serve on the committee, please talk to one of us. We will help you, we will train you, and we will welcome your participation. But realize that all of you are part of the Youth Exchange Program. If the commitment to serve on the committee is too demanding, take our calls to find host families seriously. Right now, we need 3 host families for a 16-year-old boy from Japan who will be living or attending school at the York Suburban High School. Go to the last slide. That's why we do it. You look at the success on their face. And I can't thank all of you and the members of the community. And I want to call out a special thanks to the York College of Pennsylvania. Dr. Burns, this is before your time, but you need to talk with Glenn and Jeff and talk to them about how they supported exchange students and gave them a college education, students from Nigeria that could never otherwise have afforded. Thank you all for your support of the Youth Exchange. It's part of who we are as a Rotary. It's part of our identity. It's an important and significant program. So thank you for your support.
Thank you, Walt. I've had the pleasure of having a few engaging conversations with Walt about Youth Exchange over the last few weeks, as well as the committee. And the things that stand out to me are, one, as Walt pointed out, it's a very complex organism within our Rotary Club and RI, but the impact is significant, and so is that passion. So thank you to the committee for what you do. And now I'd like to invite past President Glenn Miller to the podium to introduce today's program. Glenn.
Good afternoon again. This year marks the 237th year since the founding of what is now known as York College of Pennsylvania. And among the many things we are proud of, you know, at the top of that list is being undefeated in football for 237 years. Funny every time. Dr. Thomas Burns, as you have read in many places, was just inaugurated as the 5th president, which, if you do the math, should tell you, if nothing else, that we have a history at York College of very robust and long-tenured leaders. All kidding aside, when we talk about the number of presidents at York, we have tended lately to focus on the presidents in these last 55 years or so, since becoming a full-fledged baccalaureate granting institution. But in reality, we have served this community providing excellent higher education for 237 years. which makes Dr. Burns, in actuality, the 26th president of York College. I remind you of that long and winding history because what it tells us is that throughout those 2.5 centuries, our institution has transformed itself over and over again to meet the needs of the York community, and those needs have changed. From York Collegiate Institute to the Academy, to York Junior College, to York College of Pennsylvania. And throughout all of those changes, we have been blessed throughout our history with great leaders, leaders who have been often precisely the right leader at the right time to bring about those needed transformations. Never more so than now. Dr. Thomas Burns comes to us already fully formed as a remarkable and distinguished leader in higher education. His central Pennsylvania roots at Dickinson and Millersville means that he understands who we are and who we have been. And his extensive experience at places like Yale and Belmont provide him with what he needs to lead York College into what it will be next. Fellow Rotarians, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce you to the 26th president of York College, Dr. Thomas Burns.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Glenn. Some of what he said was true. I'll leave you to decide what that was. Thanks for letting me visit with you all today. It's fun to look out because I think I've met nearly everyone in this room over the course of the last 10 months, which means that I don't recognize you at all because I didn't meet you here, right? And so my world is constantly revolving, and I see people the third time I finally catch on. I am so excited to be able to share with you today some things about York College, where we are, where we're going, and then a little bit about higher education. But first, I'm particularly happy to have a chance to be with you today because today is Administrative Professionals Day. And I have to give a shout out to the world's greatest administrative professional, Cindy Reisinger, who is here with me today. She's not going to let me count that this is her lunch, though. So, I just want you to know. So I'm hoping to cover 3 things with you today. A little bit about YCP, of course. So I'm going to start with a bit of a sales pitch, what I call my YCPs, York College Points of Pride. And then I'm going to talk about some of my priorities for York College in the near future, and then just end with a little bit about higher education, because if you hadn't noticed, it's been in the news a little bit, and I want to make sure that you know where York College is on some of those things. So first, we're going to start with the YCPs, the York College Points of Pride. This is going to sound a little bit like a sales pitch. And so if any of you have kids that are thinking about going to college, that's exactly what it is. But if you've sent kids to college, it's still good for you to know these things about the college, and hopefully it'll help give you a sense of who we are. And also this forms the basis really for my presidencies. These are the things that I find so important about the college. So first, for me, the York College student experience is personal. We are a small enough institution, just over 3,300 undergraduates, that we know each of our students by name and we know their story. We're intently focused on helping our students meet their goals and then dream a bit bigger, to see the world differently than they did when they arrived on our campus. We want to help our students understand that their time on campus is really an investment in their future, an opportunity for them to learn and begin to explore their passions. I remind our students that our faculty and staff members are a gift because they understand why they are here, and they are committed, absolutely committed, to helping our students flourish. Our campus is committed to student success, taking the time to meet our students where they are and helping them make connections today that will help them have a meaningful, successful journey in their academic career. The York College education is practical and prepares students to be a professional. We're focused on providing an experiential education that is full of hands-on, real-world experience that helps our students take the knowledge that they gain in the classroom and transfer it into the work they will do to make a living. Our faculty and staff members take the time to talk to employers to know what skills and knowledge they want in their employees, and then we make sure that we develop those through our classroom and campus engagements. We know that formula works because our students have an incredibly high return on their investment, in the top 20% in the nation, according to a recent Georgetown University study. And we know that a York College degree sets students apart from other colleges and universities with stronger earning potential due to our exceptional programs and a very competitive price point. The York College experience helps our students to be persistent. We expect our students to work hard, to always give their best effort, and to try to learn and achieve more. We know that the commitment to their educational journey now creates the foundation for lifelong learning and long-term success. And that journey can be long and winding, but we know it's worth it. And our job is to help students be audacious in their dreams and then stubborn enough to achieve them. The faculty often talk about our students as being gritty because they will do whatever they need to succeed. And that's the foundation of persistence that will carry them through life's challenges. The York College student experience is also about helping our students find their purpose. We know that our students and their parents want to make sure that they will get a job or go to graduate school or both. And part of that is helping prepare our graduates to be engaged citizen leaders. We want our graduates to think about in what ways and through what means they're going to support the community that they live in. And that starts with their time on campus. We need to make sure that we invite our students to engage in meaningful conversations, in civil and civic dialogue, and to embrace our motto that to serve is to live. As community members, we have an obligation to serve our city and our county, and that obligation is something that we celebrate as we help our students ignite their passion for learning and service, living into their full potential and becoming graduates well prepared to make a difference wherever they call home. So all of this is true about York College of Pennsylvania right now. So where do we go from here? So let me start with partnerships for learning, past, present, and future. The approach to experiential learning at York College begins with the promise and the premise that both parties must benefit from a true partnership. So I'm going to give you some examples, a recent past example, a sort of a more current example, and then in the near future. So I'm going to start with the Yorktown Hotel, something many of you know much about. It's emblematic of the power of project-based learning. When our friends and colleagues at the York County Economic Alliance and the York County Industrial Development Authority embarked upon renovating this historic property, they sought out an operational partner, a York College alum, Ken Kochenauer, the CEO of GF Management. All of those involved knew the importance of the Yorktown to our city, and from the beginning, the team has been focused on helping engage students in every aspect of that process, helping students from all majors engage in bringing new life to the hotel. Through collaborations with our hospitality and tourism management program, as well as our marketing programs, more than 200 students have been involved in project-based learning opportunities at the Yorktown Hotel. That has made them better students, it's helped make them better employees, and it's helped make York a better city. The Environmental Horticultural Program and the Powder Mill Foundation have a partnership that has helped us create new conversations at the college. So many in this room, I am not one of them, but have had the pleasure of knowing Louis Appel, and over time have witnessed the impact of his work, both individually and through the Powder Mill Foundation on the city of York. As a York Junior College graduate, Louis loved the college, and his generosity has made an indelible mark on the college. And as many of you are also aware, the Powder Mill Foundation has helped the college develop the new major in environmental horticulture, helping to establish and fund the program, build a facility that houses the program, and opening the Milbourne Estate to the students as a living learning laboratory. What has been less obvious, though, but equally important, is that new relationship, this gift of this program, have opened up for the college and the county. Farmland, some of the most productive in our country, is found in Southern York County. While the college has always supported the agricultural community in a whole variety of ways, most of them have been indirect. And the advent of the Environmental Horticulture Program has opened up new direct and productive conversations with them, the Commonwealth, about the ways that we can positively engage and serve one of your county's most important industries. And in the near future, the Knowledge Park will come to life. Knowledge, entrepreneurship, and economic growth, these are the cornerstones of what make the Knowledge Park, which is currently in the build-out stage for our tenants, a concept where our corporate partners, our college students, our faculty, and our city can be engaged. Whether you're hatching freshly new from the J.D. Brown Entrepreneurship Center, or you're a well-established business who wants to try out new things, this is a place where the college student, the employer, the employee, and the city all come together. We have or are developing relationships that will allow students in nearly every major at the college: the arts, business, humanities, education, data analytics, sciences and engineering, healthcare, while helping out several of our partners create engagements that simply wouldn't have been considered possible or maybe even impossible if the Knowledge Park didn't exist. The Knowledge Park will create a crucible where learning, collaboration, partnership, and economic development showcase to an even larger audience that York, the city, the college, and the county is an innovative hub that is creating the future for stronger and robust economy changes. Examples like this all illustrate the power of practice, which in turn creates opportunities. Opportunities for students to take what they learn in that classroom and apply it to real-world experiences, where they use critical thinking and reasoning skills, along with a healthy dose of creativity to find novel solutions that aren't burdened by, well, that's the way we've always done it, thinking. An important piece of the collaboration for me is our commitment to provide our students with experiential learning and internships. And that needs to continue to be deeply embedded in every major at our institution. But that only happens if we are your partners. It only happens if you partner with us. We need to make sure as an institution, a nonprofit ourselves, that we are finding ways to introduce our students to nonprofit organizations as viable career opportunities. I've asked our development team to think about how they can focus on raising funds that will allow us to have a paid internship for every single one of our students. I know that it's typically very difficult for our partners in the nonprofit world to find funds to pay for an internship. And I hope that by doing this, we can create new opportunities for growth and leadership. If you think about a student's experience, if they have to take a choice between a part-time job and an unpaid internship, it's not really much of a choice. And so if we can find a way that we can support nonprofits to have our students as interns, then we should be able to develop a better leadership pipeline for nonprofits. A recent study by our friends at the York County Community Foundation, the Powder Mill Foundation, and the Wareheim Foundation illustrated this point with great clarity and directness. Nearly all the nonprofits in York County have struggled with their leadership pipeline and with creating a track to leadership positions for members of underrepresented groups. This is a place where the college can help and should actually, I hope, be a place where we can lead. With true partnerships that can help fund paid internships for nonprofits, we'll be able to strengthen that pipeline, strengthen our nonprofits, and build a stronger, more resilient community. Those opportunities are also going to help us create careers which will reduce the brain drain that many communities experience when students in their community graduate from college. We recently shared with our colleagues at WellSpan when they asked about whether York College students stick around after they graduate, that there are more than 17,000 living alums in central Pennsylvania from York College, with more than 13,000 of those in York County alone. As our colleague just said, that's 3%. That's a pretty good contribution, I think. And part of the reason they are living here after graduation is a reflection of the stickiness that we all create when we engage students in businesses and nonprofits. Through internships, co-ops, work study, volunteerism, coursework, they see themselves living, learning, and thriving here. It's a win-win-win. For me, that's also a reminder that York College should be thinking about our educational mission as how we can serve and engage every industry in our county. I've talked a little bit about how that new program in environmental horticulture has opened up new relationships and conversations, but what else is possible? How else can we engage this community in conversations about how York College can serve them? I think we need to find creative ways that benefit where we live and allow everyone in York County to see, even know that York College can be an educational resource for them no matter where they are in that educational journey. We've done this in the past through programs like YCOSP. It's an exceptional example of a program aimed at engaging students from York City, connecting them to incredible opportunities for learning, and then launching those graduates into careers in life. The entire program is about collaboration and preparing students for leadership roles in our community, and it's been extraordinarily successful. But what other opportunities can we create together? Another thing that I think is critical as in York College's future and something we need to pay attention to is making sure that we support civic dialogue and civil discourse. 2 weeks ago, YCP hosted a televised debate with our colleagues over at WGAL. It was a wonderful example of the role that the college needs to play, the role of community education, where we support our educational systems and our electoral system, and show our students live and in person how important it is to be a civically engaged and involved citizen. I think another way that the college can do these kinds of work, or this kind of work, is to focus on growing degree attainment in York County through a focus on academic programs that help serve where we live and help see our students living in York County after graduation. As Glenn said, prior to 1972, York College was York Junior College, and it only awarded associate's degrees. As we've moved into baccalaureate programs, we've steadily moved away from those associate's degrees and developed more baccalaureate programs, master's programs, and even doctoral degrees. I applaud that work and celebrate the expansion of degrees at the college, but I also believe that the college's trajectory has left some members of our community behind and hindered degree attainment for portions of our community. In the modern college, I believe that we should be creating an environment where students and learners come together wherever they are in the educational journey. And we need to be brave enough to consider all points in that educational journey, whether it's dual enrollment, associate's degrees, baccalaureate degrees, certificates, individual courses to retool in your job, or even graduate degrees. And we've got to be nimble enough to help launch those programs when interest and opportunity are high. I want the college to serve that need for more degree attainment in our community at all levels. And I want to encourage the college and our partners to help us invest in the associate degree programs that make sense. We want to make sure that we have the opportunities that your employees, your students, your family needs. I know we can't be all things to all people, but we can certainly be the best York College that supports our region and its educational endeavors. And while the creation of new programs is about growth for us, it's not just growth for the sake of growth. It's about stabilizing the economics of our institution. It's about creating new opportunities that make sense for our city and the county. And it's to remind everyone that higher education is both an individual growth opportunity and an endeavor that increases the sustainability and viability of our community. All right, so let me switch gears and talk a little bit about higher education in general. You see it in the news all the time, but sometimes the media doesn't always put things in complete context. I know that'll shock you. All right. So higher education has been under attack recently, sometimes for good reason, but often through the lens that higher education is sort of monolithic or of one mind. I want to offer to you the reality that not all of higher education is Harvard or Penn, and not all of it wants to be Harvard or Penn. York College is a place where we teach students how to think, not what to think. We don't teach a single philosophy or theory. We try to expose our students to different points of view and encourage them to engage and explore and debate thoroughly and thoughtfully to reach their own decisions. Our students tend to work very hard, tend to be very goal-oriented, and frankly, are focused on making a living, not making waves. Higher education is often portrayed as too expensive and not worth the cost. A recent article about undergraduate institutions having tuition approaching $100,000 for 1 year in 2024-25 has been making the rounds. That's a scary number. That is often unimaginable or unattainable for most. But that's not York College. Next year, our tuition will be $23,000, not $100,000. And to put that in context, the average per student spend in K-12 education in the state of Pennsylvania in 2022, 2023 was $23,000, and the York County average was $19,000. So a York College education is extraordinarily affordable. We do that intentionally and provides access, opportunity, and preparation that is simply second to none. We compromise nothing, but we do it at a rational price point. So I want to end with two things. So a little audience participation before I wrap up. So knowing that this is a room full of York Countians, how many, I'd like those of you who are associated with York College in some way, parent, alum, donor, trustee, could you please stand so we can celebrate your contributions to our county, but also to the college? Thank you all very much. You know, there's still 12,950 who aren't in this room who are York College alums in the county. And so we make a difference here and we make our home here. So last but not least, let me end with a call to action. I invite you to think about how you can help me. You can help our faculty, our staff, our students thrive by bringing your unique gifts and talents to support the plans and opportunities for the future of York College. I want you to know that YCP is open to your thoughts and ideas. We're open to partnerships and collaborations that will enhance student learning, creating new opportunities for engagement for our students, because we want to be someone who contributes to all of the YCs, the college, the city, and the county. Thank you very much.
when I talked about youth exchange, I mentioned the generosity of your college, and particularly the people who were David Kowade, a student from Nigeria who was hosted by this club, who got a mechanical engineering degree, thanks to the generosity of your college scholarship money, plus the internships that you received.
Right.
And I was wondering, I'm very encouraged by the additional internships that you are talking about. How are you getting the funding for that, and how many students do you think will be impacted?
So Walt's question was about the number of internships, how they're going to be funded, and the number of students that might be supported through the dollars we raised. So currently, we're reaching out to private donors with the idea of would they like to contribute to a fund that could be used to help pay for those internships. And so we've had good reception. I think at this point we've raised roughly $100,000 towards that endeavor. How many students will it impact? So it's hard to say because we do have plenty of companies, many in this room who are partners who already have paid internships. What I think we're trying to do is find opportunities for mostly nonprofits, frankly, that don't have the resources or the funds to be able to do paid internships, to be able to invite students to participate. Having worked with nonprofits throughout my career, I know that they often have incredibly good ideas, but not nearly enough time or people to do it. And if we can create individual or teams of students, frankly, that can help a nonprofit work on an important endeavor, it can move that nonprofit forward really rapidly. So my goal ultimately is to have every student who attends York College have the opportunity for a paid internship. So, we're only looking for 3,300 students right now, 5,000 in the near future, right? So it will be a few, but again, it's that balance between we already have plenty of partners who have paid internships and we don't want to discourage that, but we also want to create opportunities for those nonprofits in our community who can't benefit from that as well. And so I think we will be talking to our corporate partners, the foundations, but we think this is a really important differential factor for our students because we know that if they get to do work here, they're more likely to stay and live and contribute long-term here.
Dr. Burns, quick question for you. We're all familiar with the competition for student talent. You are working very, very hard to attract students to join the college. Can you talk to us a little bit about attracting faculty, those that are in the classroom, and how's that competition been? And then what are you doing to attract the best faculty, support staff possible to take care of the students that are the future of this community?
So JT's question is about recruiting students, but also more directly about recruiting faculty and staff to support the college and our students. So it's always a challenge. I mean, the reality for us is that we have very competitive salaries for our faculty. So our faculty salaries are in the top quartile for our peer institutions in Pennsylvania and in the top quartile for our peer comparison groups nationally. So our faculty salaries are quite strong, which certainly helps recruit that. But York College is not a research institution. We are a teaching-focused institution where we still encourage our faculty to engage in research and scholarship, and we want them to do that, if they can, with our students. So when we're going out to recruit faculty, we are looking for faculty who are excited about teaching, who are energetic about teaching, and are committed to doing that as the primary focus of their work. We want faculty to be here. We've had a really good track record of being able to attract faculty to that role. I think the same thing is true with staff, though I think we have some room to make up on staff salaries there. But the idea for us is that we want to bring people to our campus, to our community who understand who we are and why they're here. And that starts from a job announcement that talks about these are the incredible opportunities that exist at the college and in the city and the county. It's making sure that we hire faculty that are focused on and embrace the idea of project-based learning, experiential learning, hands-on learning, so that they come in knowing that's what they need to do with our students, not sort of having to discover it after they've gotten here. And we have I would say, a pretty rigorous evaluation process to make sure that by the time we get to the point of making an offer, we know this is a person who's going to come and stay and be successful. All right. Thank you, sir.
So I enjoyed a conversation with Dr. Burns over lunch, and I asked him what he found to be most remarkable about York. And he said, well, do you mean York College, York City, or York County? And I said, well, you pick. And he said, well, the answer is kind of the same no matter which one you want to talk about, whether it's the city, college, or the community. And that is this, that we have all embraced a symbiotic relationship to bring out the best in one another. And Dr. Burns confessed that this relationship is not, it's at least rare, or at least unheard of in other college towns. So we are blessed to have an institution like your college here in York. And we're grateful to have another fine leader in Dr. Burns to continue its traditions and our community impact. Thank you again, Dr. Burns. In honor of his presentation today, Dr. Burns has signed the book template and the book Dig by A.S. King, and it will be donated to the students at the Logos Academy, along with the bookmark made by the students at Creative York. Now, if you thought that was fun, wait till you hear what we have for next week. We will welcome Pennsylvania's Secretary of Human Services, Dr. Valerie Arkush. The Pennsylvania Department of Human Services, also known as DHS, administers programs and services that help more than 3.5 million people directly and reach every Pennsylvania in some way throughout their lives. As the largest state agency in the Commonwealth, DHS's mission is to make a positive impact on the health and well-being of the people we serve. Secretary Arkush will share some of the agency's work, its current priorities, and her vision to make DHS's programs and services a bridge to success, which means helping people achieve good health, financial stability, a vibrant and enriching life. And that sounds like service above self to me. Before I wrap up, don't forget before you leave, make a beeline to the back table and take a pretzel home with you if there are any left. Having said that, have an amazing Rotarian week. This meeting is adjourned.